very good at managing that on our side. And the lack of education, I think, is one of the biggest problems.
What about systems? What kind of systems are you using?
Well, systems, that's
do you have your
one.
internal systems? Are you just kind of more particular about who you work with?
Well, we wanted a lot of systems, but did not find necessarily useful systems out there. Because most of the hoteliers have been, they've had a tough time articulating their needs. And when you move away from segmentation and you go into the channel management, especially 8 years ago when we started out, yeah, it was a big shift. So data was around, but not aggregated in real time. So if you want to sell like a stockbroker, that's a problem. So we very much helped create companies also that now provide this type of service.
More dynamic content.
More dynamic content so that you can at least see aggregated data in real time. So that if you want to have a data analyst and have control over your pricing, that at least the tools are there to do so. But there's a whole learning that needs to go into what is your online strategy, what do you need to do with your own website, and what's the learning curve? Because you mentioned a lot of the systems that the independent hotels don't have or the smaller hotel chains don't have. I'm afraid that many hoteliers don't even know what those systems are or what they could do for them. And as it is vendor-led, there's a lot that gets sold into hotels on, let's say, an OPEX way. So it's nice and cheap when we take it on, but we sort of bring all those systems together. They don't work together. They don't work hand in glove. And what is even worse is that the data that is so relevant that we can learn from and do things with, it's hiding out in all kinds of different systems.
So you've had to do a lot of your own development to understand the data and to do channel management.
Yes.
But you do work with online travel agencies. How do you work with them? What do they represent a big part of your distribution? And do you try to keep it small?
Well, I think they're part of our strategy. So we do not have an affiliation. We are trying to build our own brand, and through the product and through the service proposition we offer, we are able to generate a huge repeat clientele. And that loyalty most of the time books through us, but if they want to book through somebody else, that's fine. I think that when you start out with a property and you want to do well out of the gate, then you take a specific strategy, and that usually involves OTA. They have a large bite of the market and they can produce for you. Vice versa, there's a lot of other avenues that you can develop yourself and become effective over time so that basically direct business to you becomes relevant.
So what are you doing to take that business, that some of it X percent, I'm assuming a minority is coming through online travel agencies, and then you're taking that, but you still want that guest to come direct next time. So what steps do you take to do that? Or are you okay that this is a mercenary traveler, they're not going to be loyal, and just say X percent is not going to be a loyal traveler, and just live with it?
Well, I think that first of all, your product offer and your service needs to be impeccable. If not, you can try to get somebody back, but then it is on price and through how they find you. So you need to do an impeccable job. But I think there's a lot that we can learn from online marketing and from our data. So when we start to research and take an in-depth look, and even OTAs will allow you through the back end to find out a lot about your customers. And if you learn about your customers and get a better rapport with them and a better conversation going with them, ultimately they stay much longer with us